One and all, welcome to sisyaclass. స్వాగతం మీ sisyaclassesకి. ఈరోజు మనం నేర్చుకోబోయే టాపిక్ ఆల్రెడీ పొద్దున మన క్లాస్ అయిపోయింది. మన పొద్దున క్లాస్లో ఇన్ ద ఆఫ్టర్నూన్స్ క్లాస్ వీ హ్యావ్ స్టడీడ్ అబౌట్ బైనామియల్ థీరమ్. ఓకే, ఐ జస్ట్ ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్డ్ యూ బైనామియల్ థీరమ్ అంటే ఏంటి. We have discussed about the Pascal's triangle and also we have expressed also what is meant by binomial expansion. So దాని టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ ఏ బైనామియల్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ కూడా చూసాము. ఇప్పుడు ఈ క్లాస్లో వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ప్రిసైజ్లీ డిస్కస్ what is the middle term of a binomial expansion, okay, and one more thing, what is the greatest term, okay, what is the greatest coefficient that you can see when you are expanding the binomial coefficient. So we are going to see these two things, just రెండు ఫార్ములాలు, చాలా ఈజీగా అయిపోతుంది అండ్ చాలా సింపుల్ కూడా. అండ్ ఒక చిన్న పొద్దున యూట్యూబ్లో కమెంట్స్లో సమ్మన్ హ్యాస్డ్ వన్ డౌట్ ఆల్సో, ఆ డౌట్ కూడా క్లారిఫై చేస్తాను. Okay, I remember the question 3 plus x square whole to the power 6. What is the coefficient of x to the power 5? అది కూడా ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేస్తాను with only one simple formula. Okay, and apart from that, మీకు ఏమైనా డౌట్స్ ఉన్నా కానీ, మీకు ఏమైనా క్లారిఫికేషన్స్ ఉన్నా కానీ, ప్లీజ్ డూ లెట్ మీ నో ఇన్ ద కమెంట్స్ బాక్స్. అండ్ ఆల్సో వన్ మోర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్ మళ్ళీ చెప్తున్నాను ఏంటంటే, ఇట్ మైట్ సౌండ్ లిటిల్ బోరింగ్ టు యూ, కానీ ఏంటంటే sisyaclasses, ప్లీజ్ డూ డౌన్లోడ్ ఇట్ ఇన్ ద ప్లే స్టోర్. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్, ఒకవేళ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోకపోతే ప్లీజ్ సబ్స్క్రైబ్ చేసుకోండి, ఎందుకంటే ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఐ హావ్ సీన్ that 60% of the viewers are non-subscribed people. So if you are subscribing, then you can repeatedly get the notification and you can actually look back to the content whatever we are playing on YouTube. So it is very important me subscribe cheskondi. Also please share it with your friends who can actually who can rely on the YouTube channel of sisyaclasses and learn much more, especially to the mathematics series and chemistry series. Okay, so again I'm saying ప్రతిరోజు at 11:30 we have the session, and again 3:30 తర్వాత that is at 3:30, and again at 5:30 we have another session. So at 11:30 and 5:30 we have mathematics session, at 3:30 we have the chemistry session. So as of now this is the schedule. Please do come and join our live sessions. And I would like to say my name is Satish. I have done my masters from IIT Palakkad, Kerala, and I have trained over 50,000 students from past 5 years. And లెట్స్ స్టార్ట్. ఓకే, సో పొద్దున ఏదైతే మాట్లాడుకున్నామో వాటిపైన కొద్దిగా డిస్కషన్ చేద్దాము, అండ్ దెన్ వీ వుడ్ లైక్ టు జంప్ ఆన్ టు ద కాంటెంపరీ టాపిక్. ఈరోజు ఏదైతే కొత్త టాపిక్ ఉందో, సో బైనామియల్, ఇట్ ఇస్ నథింగ్ బట్ 2 terms. వీ హ్యావ్ ఎక్స్ప్రెస్డ్ హౌ అన్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ ఆఫ్ 2 terms in terms of like how does it look like. So we have used this formula, and then we have found what is the nth term of a formula, like nth term of an expansion enti. So we have also derived that tr plus 1 is equals to ncr into x. So if it is in the form of x plus a whole to the power n, so that will be x to the power n minus r into a to the power r. So this is the formula, right? This is simple formula, right? So based on that, we have also discussed how can we use Pascal triangle and also find a particular coefficient of the expansion for a particular degree term, right? So we can also find using the Pascal triangle. Okavela gani meer ee podduna class chudle, if you haven't seen, then please let in the link in the description box you will be having a link of playlist. And ippudu varaku we have covered the topics right from functions, trigonometric functions, we have covered even calculus, that is limits, derivatives, applications of derivatives, and also we have covered complex numbers, quadratic equations, permutations, combinations, right now we are in the middle of binomial theorem, right? And then we would like in the next upcoming class, again I'm saying chaala mandi comments lo em adutunarante they want the circles, parabola, hyperbola, these topics, right? So I would like to start with that topic in the next week from Monday. Okay, so Monday ro circles, Tuesday road parabola, again Wednesday we have ellipse, and on Thursday we have hyperbola. So this is a schedule for the next week. Consequently, let's see what we can do. Okay, now let's also I have explained you what are the terms of an equation, right? Now here you see, like if there are, we have discussed about this formula also, just now I have also discussed about this formula, right? And today we are going to completely devote our discussion on the middle term. Middle term ante entante, when you have written total binomial expansion, what is the term that is exactly existing in the middle? For example, if you have for example 3 numbers, right? If you have 3 numbers, so the middle term will be only 1, right? Meeku already telusu, when you are finding mean, median, mode, akkada kuda in 10th grade you might have seen that when you are doing the median of, that is the middle term of a sequence, whenever there are odd number of terms, then you have the one middle term, right? Whenever there are even number of terms, then there are two middle terms that you would be taking the average of those two terms. But the whole philosophy is that odd terms, then you have only one middle term. When you have even terms, then you have two middle terms, right? Kani ikkada let's try to understand our concept. Okavela gani if I have x plus a whole to the power n ila edo okati undi, okay, can you say me how many number of terms does this expansion have? Any number of terms ఉంటాయి. ఒకవేళ x plus a whole square ఉంటే 3, x plus a whole cube ఉంటే number of terms 4. పొద్దున మనం మాట్లాడుకున్నాం. Same, how many number of terms does it exist that will have n plus 1 terms, isn't it? Right? ఒకవేళ కానీ 3 terms ఉంటే, ఒకవేళ 3 ఉంటే డిగ్రీ, ఇక్కడ 4 terms, ఇక్కడ 5 ఉంటే ఇక్కడ 6 terms, ఇక్కడ 6 ఉంటే ఇక్కడ 7 terms. So it goes on like this. So if there are x to the power n, x plus a whole raised to the n, then it will be n plus 1 terms, right? కానీ ఇప్పుడు let's have a debate on completely to on the nature of this n, that is even or odd. Suppose x plus a whole to the power n, ఇప్పుడు n ఏమంటున్నానంటే it is an even term, okay, it's an even, like x plus a whole square, x plus a whole power 4, x plus a whole power 6, something like this. Now when you have an even number, how many number of terms do we have? How many number of terms do we have? n plus 1 ante even plus 1. So even plus 1 will become odd terms, right? So then అర్థం ఏంటి, ఒకవేళ x plus a whole to the power even number ఉంటే we will have odd number of terms. దాని అర్థం అదే కదా. For example, x plus a whole square ఎన్ని terms ఉంటాయి? 3. For example, x plus a whole cube ఎన్ని terms ఉంటాయి? 4. So whenever we have an odd power, right, when n is odd, that time how many number of terms it is? So the number of terms will be odd, like it will be here even. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? So the number of terms will be even. అర్థమైందా? ఒకవేళ కానీ x plus a whole square ఉంటే number of terms will be odd. X plus a whole power ఈ number odd ఉంటే the number of terms will be even, right? Now you look back to this. If n is even in the expansion x plus a whole to the power n or x minus a whole to the power n even ఉంది, confuse కాకండి. n even ఉంది కానీ don't say that it has two terms, because n even ఉంటే x plus a whole to the power n it has n plus 1 terms, that is even plus 1 odd number of terms. Whenever we have odd number of terms, we have only single middle term, that is n by 2 plus 1, okay, that is n by 2 plus 1. Whenever we have the odd here, if you have an odd number, that means you have even number of terms. That time it will be oscillating between two terms, that is a n plus 1 by 2, a n plus 3 by 2. Okay, so this will be the two middle terms. Okay, I hope you're following the entire thing. Okavela gani if there is x plus a whole to the power n, if there is an even number, then you have directly ikkada even unda, then only one middle. If there is odd, then it is having two. Okay, don't get confused with whatever you have studied before. The whole philosophy is still same, but n even odd anedi koncham meeku twisting ga anpichochu, but that is all the whole reason which we have read between the lines, right? Now let's go to the next one. Okay, so ikkada complete framework undi. Ippudu indak nenu em cheppa, if the middle term is, if n is even, then you have only one middle term. You have only one middle term. At the last conclusion, when n is odd, then how many middle terms you have? Two middle terms. So what are those middle terms that we are going to see? So if there is only one middle term, that is nothing but at t n by 2. Okay, so that at n by 2th term, that will be the middle term. Okay, so that is what the thing is. And here it is nc n plus 1 by 2, that will be the coefficient. So you have n by 2 plus 1. So this is when it is even, and whenever it is odd, so you have two terms, that is n plus 1 by 2 plus 1 and comma t n plus 3 by 2 plus 1. So you have this two terms. Okay, t n plus 1 by 2, you can take n minus 1 by 2 also, still it is same. Okay, so yeah, you have two terms, right? Now you see. Now this is very very important, please star mark this. Okay, ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ if you want to know the greatest term, okay, if you want to know the greatest term అంటే ఎక్స్పాండ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఏ టర్మ్ చాలా పెద్ద కోఎఫిషియంట్ ఏంటి అని తెలుసుకోవడానికి we have this direct formula, that is n plus a by mod x by a plus 1. Okay, n plus 1 by mod x by a plus 1. Okay, so this is the formula direct, right? So ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఈ ఫార్ములా యూజ్ చేయాలి in order to know for which value of term వేర్ ఇఫ్ ఒకవేళ ఈ వాల్యూ ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేసిన తర్వాత ఏదైతే ఈ వాల్యూ వస్తుందో ఆ పర్టికులర్ టర్మ్ దగ్గర వీ హ్యావ్ దట్ ఎక్స్పాన్షన్. ఓకే, సో దట్ పర్టికులర్ టర్మ్ గివ్స్ అస్ ది గ్రేటెస్ట్ టర్మ్ ఆఫ్ ద థింగ్. ఓకే, సో ఇఫ్ దిస్ టర్న్స్ అవుట్ టు బి p, then we have tp and tp plus 1 will be the greatest term. Okay, so that is what I would like to say. I hope it is very clear. Okay, now so podduna we have one question, so I would like to just see this expansion. This is the trinomial expansion, okay, or you can say a polynomial expansion. Okay, so podduna adigina question entante 3 plus x square whole to the power 6. They have asked what is the coefficient of x power 5. Directly using this formula we can immediately get. So idi mana last question ee roju video lo, so I would like to solve that question which was asked in today's morning class. Okay, right, now let's start the questions. So idi kuda, this was also a question from the morning class itself. There was not a complete question, so I am trying to solve here itself. So if p and q are the real numbers such that the 7th term in the expansion is 700, 7th term in the expansion is 700, so t7 equals to 700, right? Now what is the 49 p square value? Now 7th term ante can I write it as t6 plus 1, so this will become 8c6 and tr plus 1 formula enti ncr into, so that will be for the expansion x to the power n minus r into a to the power r. So this is the expansion. So 8c6 into x is 5 by p cube whole to the power n minus r, so 8 minus 6 2, and a is nothing but minus 3 cube by 7 into 6 into power 6, okay, which is equals to 700. He's saying this is equals to 700. Now you see here, this will be, don't try to completely bombard the calculations here, మొత్తం అన్ని elaborate చేసి రాయకండి, just wait. Okay, how much ever possible try to simplify in that fashion only. So this will become 8 factorial by 8 minus 6 factorial into 6, 2 factorial into 6 factorial, so that will be 8 into 7 by 6 by 2 factorial, that will be 56 by 2, that will be 28. Okay, so I'm directly writing here 28 into, this will be 5 square into minus 3 power 6 by 7 power 6 by p power 6 into q power 6, okay, which is equals to 700. Now let's try to see here if you can simplify something here. So let's try to shift everything on the left hand side, or we can shift everything to the right hand side, anything we can do. So 28, so 3 power 6 by 7 power 6, so we'll just write it in power 6 only, let's not trouble this two people. Now q power 6 by p power 6, so this can be written as q by p whole power 6 is equals to, now shift everything to the right hand side, so that will become 700 into 7 power 6 by 3 power 6, so 700 into 7 by 3 whole power 6, so we'll just write like this, into, we have, so 7 power 6, so 28 into 5 square, so you have 28 into 5 square, so that will be 1 by 28 into 5 square. Okay, so this will become 700, 7 into 100, 7 4s are 28, so this will become 25 4s are, and 4 gets cancelled, so this will become 7 by 3 whole power 6 by q by p whole power 6, so this will become q by p is equals to 7 by 3, so from here we can just write 7p is equals to 3q, from here squaring on both sides, 49p square is equals to 9q square. So what adugutunna value enti 49p square enta, so that is equals to 9q square, so it is simple, so that is equals to 9q square, it's option B, we are done. Okay, let's see quickly the next question. The number of integral terms in the expansion root 3 plus 8th root of 5 whole to the power 256. Integral terms ante enti, it should be a purely an integer, not a irrational number, right? It should be an integer term, but because here there is a combination of two irrational terms, so whenever you are trying to expand, there is a high chance that the irrational terms would be popping out at each and every step. So let's try to see explicitly what are the number of terms adugutunnadu. He's asking number of integral terms, so let's try to just write down the formula. Chudandi, eppudaina gaani try to avoid pen as less as possible. Okay, so I don't have any other way, any other means or streams to communicate, so I have only the pen and board. కానీ ఎగ్జామ్లో మటుకు ట్రై టు మేక్ ఎ హ్యాబిట్, మీరు ఏం చేయండి అంటే పెన్ చాలా తక్కువ యూస్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేయండి. ఓకే, సో దట్ మీన్స్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ షుడ్ హ్యాపెన్ ఇన్ యువర్ బ్రెయిన్, analysis should happen within your brain, and the moment you see the question, you can just omit at least 2 options just by looking at the question, then you are halfway done, right? మిగిలిన ఛాలెంజ్ ఏంటంటే మిగిలిన 2 క్వశ్చన్స్ మధ్యలోనే 2 ఆప్షన్స్ మధ్యలోనే you need to have that calculation with the pen, right? So make sure you can do that trial and error within your brain, right? So that's one of the important thing. So now you see here, so if you try to see this expansion, this will be 256 CR, so it doesn't matter actually. So root 3 power n minus r, that will be 256 minus r into 8th root of 5 whole to the power r. So this will become 3 to the power 256 minus r by 2 and 5 to the power r by 8. ఇక్కడ మీరు చూడండి, see something which has to be divisible by 2, that means the r has to definitely be an even number. If it turns out to be an odd number, even number minus odd number will always turn out to be an odd number, and again you will be getting some sort of an irrational number in the power, hence the number will be irrational, right? So which we don't want. So first conclusion is r should be an even number, so I am not writing anything on the board. Now ikkada chudandi, the r should be divisible by 8. So what are the numbers that, so if you understand this, r has to be divisible by 8, then ardham enti prati okka number which is divisible by 8 is an even number, and hence we need to calculate all those numbers which are exactly divisible, or the multiples of 8 that is exactly touching till 256 is. So just divide 256 by 8, so that will be 8 3s are 24. So we have, so if you try to see the 256 table, so 8, so that will be 8 3s are 24, and I have 16, 8 2s are 16. You might be saying that there are 32 numbers that are divisible by 8 till 256, but the point is don't be in a rush to just mark this 32 చూసిన వెంటనే ఇది మీరు మార్క్ చేసేస్తారు, కానీ ఇది తప్పు. ఎందుకంటే ఈవెన్ 0 will also satisfy our condition. r to the power 0, still it is fine. 256 minus 0, still it is an even number, hence we are done. Hence the answer is 33. So be very careful when you are taking the option. Don't go with the flow and don't be sloppy and slippery at this point of time. Let's see the next question. The terms of an independent of x. So ikkada emantunnadu, the terms which are independent of x, dan ardham enti, the x should be completely nullified, it should not exist. So let's see for what values, for at which term this x gets completely omitted. So let's try to see. He's saying in the expansion which is already 405. Okay, now let's try to see here. If I try to take the general term, 10CR is equals to x to the power r by 2 into minus k by x square whole to the power, sorry, this is 10 minus r by 2 because n minus r, and this will become r. Okay, so this, if you take the powers here, so this will become x to the power 10 minus r by 2 into x to the power minus 2r. Yes or no? So if you take to the numerator, it will become minus 2r. So x to the power 2r, it will become minus 2r. So this will become x to the power 10 minus 5r. So if you try to just multiply this, this will become x to the power 10 minus c. This will become 10 minus r by 2 minus 2r. Okay. So then ardham enti 10 minus 5r by 2. Kada? 10 minus 5r by 2. So all this power should be equal to 0. ఎందుకంటే independent of x అంటే ఏంటి, x అనేది ఉండద్దు కదా. If I try to take the coefficient, just forget about whatever the coefficient is. The coefficient will be approximately, that will be 10CR into minus k power r. ఓకే, ఇది కోఎఫిషియంట్, దీంతో పని లేదు ఇప్పుడు ప్రస్తుతానికి. ఎక్స్ టు ద పవర్ ఏదైతే వచ్చిందో, దిస్ కంప్లీట్ థింగ్, ఓకే, దిస్ హోల్ థింగ్ షుడ్ బి ఈక్వల్ టు 0. దిస్ పవర్ షుడ్ బి ఈక్వల్ టు 0. Now for what value of r it will be equal to 0? For r equals to 2. ఎందుకంటే 5 into 2 10, 10 minus 10 0. So the answer is 0. So the answer is 1. So at r equals to 0, it is completely independent of x. Sorry, r equals to 2, it is completely independent of x. Okay, when r equals to 2. Now when r equals to 2, so this will become 10c2. He's saying the independent term of x is 405. Then we got the r value to be how much? 2. So can I say that 10c2 into minus k square, he's already saying it is 405. 10c2 value ela calculate chesaru, 10 factorial by 10 minus 2 into 2 factorial. So that will be 10 into 9, 45 by 2, right? So this will become 10 factorial by 10 minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. So this will become minus k square into 405. Okay, so we have 10 into 9 by 2, so I cancel this. So this will be k square, which is equals to 405. So from here I got k square is equals to 405 by 45. So you can just calculate this, 405 by 45. So if you try to just calculate this is 45 nines, because 45 tens is 450. If you remove 45, that will be 405. So k is equals to plus or minus 3. We are done with the answer. So the option is C. Now let's see the next question here. The terms that are independent of same question, mali same pattern of question. ఎక్కడైతే ఈ మిడిల్ టర్మ్స్ ఒక క్వశ్చన్స్ ఉన్నాయో మోస్ట్లీ ద డెన్సర్ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఆర్ కమింగ్ ఎస్పెషలీ ఇన్ ఆస్కింగ్ దిస్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ టర్మ్స్. ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే ద గ్రేటెస్ట్ టర్మ్స్. ఈ రెండుటి మధ్యనే ద హోల్ థింగ్ ఈస్ ఆసిలేటింగ్. ఓకే, సో లెట్స్ ట్రై టు క్యాపిటలైజ్ దీస్ క్వశ్చన్స్. x minus 2 by root x whole to the power 21. వాట్ ఆర్ ద టర్మ్స్ దట్ ఆర్ ఇండిపెండెంట్? సేమ్ థింగ్, మళ్ళీ ఏం చేయండి, 21cr x to the power 21 minus r into minus 2 by root x whole to the power r. సో దీని అర్థం ఏంటి, 21cr x to the power 21 minus r. So if you directly take everything into the numerator, so this will become x to the power minus r by 2. So x to the power minus r by 2. ఎందుకంటే ఇక్కడ కింద r అంటే r by 2, పైకి వెళ్తే minus r by 2. So 21 minus r by 2. So that will become 21 minus, okay. So this you can write it as 21 minus of r plus r by 2. So that will become 3r by 2. 21 minus 3r by 2. So this should be equal to 0. So that is what he is saying. So this will be the independent one. So we have minus 2 power r. Okay, so 21 minus 3r by 2. So 21 is equals to 3r by 2. So I can cancel 3 7s are, and 7 into 2 14. So I hope this value is r is equals to 14. ఇక్కడ మీకు అర్థమైందా నేను ఏం చేస్తున్నాను? ఈ కంప్లీట్గా పవర్ నేను యాడ్ చేసినప్పుడు నాకు వచ్చిన ఆన్సర్ ఏంటంటే 21cr x to the power 21 minus 3r by 2 into minus 2 power r. ఇక్కడ అది నా వాల్యూస్. సో దిస్ కంప్లీట్ పవర్ షుడ్ బి ఈక్వల్ టు 0. దట్ టైమ్ ఇట్ విల్ బికమ్ ఇండిపెండెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్. ఒకవేళ కానీ ఇది 0 కాకపోతే స్టిల్ ఇట్ విల్ బి డిపెండింగ్ ఆన్ ఎక్స్. సో ఈ వాల్యూ మటుకు 0 కావాలి, అందుకనే దాన్ని ఈక్వేటెడ్ టు 0 నేను చేశాను. Okay, I hope you are clear. So when r equals to 14, this will satisfy. So just see what will happen when r equals to 14. That will be 21c 14 minus 2 to the power 14. Anyway, 14 is an even number, so the answer is option B. Okay, yeah. Now let's see the next question. If p and q are respectively the coefficient of x power 5 and x power minus 5, then what is the value of 5p by 4q? Quick ga chudandi, first write the general term 21cr x to the power 21 minus r by 3 into 1 by 2 power r. I am just writing one more step here, power r into e x power minus 1 by 3 ni paiki తీసుకెళ్తే minus 1 by 3. So that will become minus r by 3. So x to the power minus r by 3. Okay, so this will become totally 21cr 1 by 2 power r into 21 minus r by 3 minus r by 3, that will become 21 minus 2r by 3. So this will become x to the power 21 minus 2r by 3. ఇప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేయాలి, మళ్ళీ ఇదేంటి, we should equate it to minus 3 and minus 5, because he is asking this is the coefficient. The coefficient is nothing but if p and q are respectively the coefficient. So for what value of r this fellow will be equal to minus 3. So you should see p is equals to for what value. So 21 minus 2r by 3, just equate it to minus 3. So that will become 21 minus 2r minus 9. So that will become 30 is equals to 2r. So r is equals to 15. So this value is 15. So you got the for the minus 15, for minus 3 you got the r value to be 15. So similarly 21 minus 2r by 3 in order to get minus 5. So just do the calculation. 21 minus 2r by 3, which is equals to minus 5. 21 minus 2r is equals to minus 15. So that will be equals to 36 is equals to 2r. R is equals to 18. So 18 దగ్గర the coefficient, the power will be x to the power minus 5. Okay, so ఇప్పుడు at r equals to, I got the value r equals to 18. So for r is equals to 15 and r is equals to 18, I got these two values. Now you try to find out. I hope my calculation is everything correct. 21 minus 2r by 3, so this will become minus 15. So 21 plus 15, 36. So 36 by 2 is 18, and here 21 minus 2r, okay, sorry, okay, yeah, everything is perfect. Okay, so this is correct, right? Now now let's try to find out what is this p by q value. So first వచ్చిన value enti, r is equals to 15. That will be, we want just the coefficient. Direct చేసింది 5p by 4q is equals to 21c. We got the p value for this is r is equals to 15. R is equals to 15, yes. So 5 by 4, 21c 18. So now you try to do the calculation 5 by 4. ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ 21 factorial by 21 minus eventually you should master the calculation. It is not that you write each and every number on the board. Okay, directly you should be able to solve. Okay, so నేను ఇక్కడ డైరెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నాను చూడండి. ఫస్ట్ 21 ఫ్యాక్టోరియల్, ఇక్కడ కూడా 21 ఫ్యాక్టోరియల్ క్యాన్సిల్. సో ఈ కింద ఉన్న 18 ఫ్యాక్టోరియల్ పైకి వెళ్తుంది. సో దట్ విల్ బి 18 factorial into 21 minus 18, that will be 3 factorial by 21 minus 15, that will be 6 factorial into I will be having the 15 factorial. I hope మీకు క్యాలిక్యులేషన్ మటుకు కొంచెం తొందరగా చెప్తున్నాను, ఎందుకంటే ఓవర్ ఏ పీరియడ్ ఆఫ్ టైం మీరు చాలా ఫాస్ట్గా రాయాలి క్యాలిక్యులేషన్స్. ఓకే, సో నవ్ యూ సీ హియర్, ఇఫ్ యూ ట్రై టు సీ 5 by 4 into 18 into 17 into 16 by 6 into 5 into 4. So I'm cancelling 15 factorial and 3 factorial. So I'm left out with this calculation. So if you are done, we are done with this piece of work, right? So 6 3s are 18 and your 4 4s are 16. 4 4 gets cancelled. This will be 5 5 gets cancelled. The answer is 7 into 3. 17 into 3. 17 into 3. So 27 34 51, right? So 51, and are we left out with any sort of calculation? So 51. So let's see let's come back to the calculation. 5. Okay. See here, 1 by 2 power r. So I missed this fellow. 1 by 2 power r. So I can just write this as here 1 by 2 power r ante ikkada r 15. So this will become power 15. 1 by 2 power 18. So this will become 2 to the power 18 by 2 to the power 15. That will be 2 cube. That will be into 8. So now you can calculate 51 into 8. Okay, the point is, so here when you see the option 51 into 8, you can directly write the answer. 51 into 8 is 50 into 8 is 400 plus 8, that will be 408. You don't have to do the calculation. ఒక్కొక్కసారి యూనిట్ డిజిట్స్ కూడా యూజ్ చేసేయచ్చు, ఎందుకంటే 51 into 8 చేస్తే 8 ఎప్పుడు యూనిట్స్ ప్లేస్లో రాదు. సో దట్ యూనిట్స్ ప్లేస్లోనే వస్తుంది, దాని అర్థం 2 ఎప్పుడు రాదు. సో యూ కెన్ క్యాన్సిల్ అవుట్ డైరెక్ట్లీ దీస్ 2 options. You will be fumbling between these 2 options and you can just calculate it. Anyway, let's see the next question. The value of the numerical expansion for the greatest term 2x plus 3y power 11 when x equals to 1 by 2, y equals to 1 by 3. Please highlight this formula. Okay, konni sarlu what happens is, the point is, we don't have the luxury of deriving the formulas in the exam. Okay, so at that point of time, the only trick is to remember the formula. Hardly ప్రతి ఒక్క చాప్టర్కి, ఈవెన్ అపార్ట్ ఫ్రమ్ ద క్యాలిక్యులస్ పార్ట్ అండ్ ట్రిగ్నోమెట్రీ పార్ట్, ప్రతి దానికి చాలా కొన్ని మట్టుకే like only with 2-3 formulas you can completely evacuate the chapter, right? So it is better that you just master in remembering those 2-3 formulas, then you are done with the syllabus of maths, especially maths lo idi. Okay, maybe in physics and chemistry maybe you have a wide range of things to remember at each and every line also, but at this point of time, like 2 or 3 formulas, you are done, right? So that let's take advantage of that. So eppudaina gaani when he want the greatest term అన్నాడు అనుకోండి, ఆ గ్రేటెస్ట్ టర్మ్ ఏ టర్మ్ దగ్గర ఎగ్జిస్ట్ కావడానికి, ఇన్ ఆర్డర్ టు నో ద టర్మ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎ ఫార్ములా p ఈజ్ ఈక్వల్స్ టు n+1 బై mod x by a plus 1 ఫార్ ద ఎక్స్పాన్షన్ x plus a whole to the power n. Just remember this, n+1 by mod x by a plus 1. Okay, so this is all the whole formula we have. Now let's try to see this one. Okay, now we have in place of x 2x, in place of a 3y. Okay, so ఈ ఫార్ములా ఇక్కడ కూడా ఉంది, మీకు ఒక్కసారి I'll just show you where it is there on the the slides that we have done. So this is the formula for the expansion of x plus a whole to the power n. We have n+1 by mod x by a plus 1. Okay, so this will give you not just it does not give you ఇది highest like greatest term iyadu, ఇది ఏ term దగ్గర greatest term వస్తుందో అది చెప్తుంది. Okay, so there is a difference. It does not give you the value of the greatest term, it says you for which term the greatest value occurs, right? So there is a difference. ఇప్పుడు చూడండి, Yeah, so now if you try to see here, what is the value of n over here? The p is nothing but n is nothing but 11. 11 plus 1 12. Mod x by a ante enti mod 2x by 3y plus 1. కానీ ఇక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ x ఇంకా y వాల్యూ ఇచ్చాడు. x అంతా 1 by 2, y అంతా 1 by 3. 2 into 1 by 2, 3 into 1 by 3. We have 1 1 1 plus 1 2. So the answer is 6. Simple calculation, easy calculation, 6. Now how can we do the next one? What is he asking? So we have this at 6. You are going to get the value, right, at 6. So now how do we do this? So 11, so how do we find the sixth term? And 6 anedi the value at pth term, right? So how do you do this? nc6 and you have 2x plus 3y power 11, so that will be 2x power 6 n minus 6 into n is nothing but 11, we'll write in next step, into 3 to the power 6. So that will become 11c6 2 to the power, so this will be anyway 2 into 2x to the power 11 minus 6 is 5, 3 into 1 by 3y to the power 6. So 2 into 1 by 2 that will be 1, 3 into 1 by 3 that will also be 1. The answer is just 11c6. The answer is just the 11c6. ఇక్కడ value లేదు కాబట్టి let's just calculate what is 11c6 value. 11 factorial by 11 minus 6, 5 factorial into 6 factorial. So you can just write this as 11 into 10 into 9 into 8 into 7, and then by 6 factorial you can just cancel it out. 6 factorial, 6 factorial, we are left out with 5 factorial, which is 120, 10, then this will become 3 3s and this will become 4 4 2s. So now just try to calculate this. Okay, 3 into 2 6, 6 into 7 42, 42 into 11 is 420 plus 42, that will be 462. So you need to be quick with the calculation. The answer is 462. Okay, right. See the next question. You have 3 by 2 x square minus 1 by 3 x. అక్కడ వాడు క్లియర్గా అడుగుతున్నాడు ఏంటి? ది న్యూమెరికలీ గ్రేటెస్ట్ టర్మ్. అగైన్ యూజ్ ద సేమ్ ఫార్ములా, n plus 1 by mod x by a plus 1. So you have n plus 1 by mod x by a plus 1. చాలా ఫాస్ట్ చేద్దాం ఇది కూడా. ఇది n ఎంత అక్కడ ఆల్రెడీ 6. So 6 plus 1, but he's saying the kth term of the expansion is independent of x. First, the kth term is independent of x. So independent of x ki ela formula find out chestam? The independent of x ante the x, there should not be any x. That means x to the power whatever it is there, the value should be equal to 0, right? So 6cr into 3 by 2 x square. Okay, so this will become 6 minus r into minus 1 by 3x. (12 minus 2r) into this, you can write it as x to the power minus r. So and this you can write this as minus 1 by 3 power r. Okay, ఇది మన వచ్చిన పూర్తి expansion. So from here you can say that okay, did I miss anything? Okay, so this will become x to the power, from this you can say that x to the power 12 minus 3r. Now for what value of r this will be equal to 0? For r equals to 4, ఎందుకంటే 12 minus 12 should equal to 0. So when it will be equal to 0? So 12 minus 3r equals to 0. So 12 is equals to 3r. So the r is equals to 4. I hope మీకు ఇది క్లియర్. ప్రతిసారి ఇదే ట్రిక్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం. whenever you have x to the power something, then it is x to the power 0. So when it will become 0? When r equals to 4. Now you try to see, so the r should be equal to 4. Let's see the term. So we have 6c4 into whatever this thing is, 3 by 2 power 6 minus 4, which is 2, into minus 1 by 3 power 4. Okay, so this we have 6 factorial by 6 minus 4 factorial into, that is 2 factorial into 4 factorial, 6 into 5 30, 30 by 2 which is 15, 15 into you have 3 square by 2 square into minus 1 to the power 4, that will be 1 into 3 to the power 4. So you calculate చేయండి, ఈ వాల్యూ ఎంత వస్తుందో చెప్పండి. దీని తర్వాత once you have that value, then try to substitute over here and then find the value of the greatest term. Okay, so I hope this is all clear to you, right? Now see the next question. Yeah, this is the important question. What is the coefficient of x to the power 5 in this 3 plus x square whole to the power 6? Here we have a formula. Whenever you have a trinomial expansion, so you have a formula, that is, for in order to have a terms, the terms will be of this pattern, that is n factorial. So n factorial by, the terms are in this fraction, n factorial by, you know, p factorial into q factorial into r factorial into, like you have 3 to the power r, x to the power q, and x square to the power p. So this is how the whole thing is there. So ikkada meer chustunnattlaithe, the first thing I have explained you, first question kuda the same thing, n factorial. If you have some terms like this, x1 plus x2 plus x3, so in the kitchen question lo enti 3 plus x square whole to the power 6, n ente ikkada 6. So 6 factorial by r1, r2, r3 ante these are nothing but these r's are oscillating between 0 and n, and the summation of r should be equal to n. That is what the thing is. Okay, the summation of r should be equal to n, and it is divided, the partition in which we do that n is like r1, r2, r3, r4. Now you see this expansion. Now you have, so 3, so n is nothing but 6 factorial by p, so this will become 3 to the power r. Okay, so this can be written as 2p plus q. Okay, p factorial, q factorial, and r factorial. But as I said, this p plus q plus r should be equal to how much? It should be equal to the n, that is equals to 6. But here he is asking what is the coefficient of x power 5. Kani ikkada coefficients are in the form of 2p plus q, that means 2p plus q is equals to 5. So from here, can I write q is equals to 5 minus 2p? Can I write q is equals to 5 minus 2p? So that will be p plus 5 minus 2p plus r. So p plus q plus r nela raichama, p plus q plus r is equals to 6. So p ikkada nenu em తీసుకున్నాను, q is equals to 5 minus 2p, q is equals to 5 minus 2p plus r is equals to 6. So 5 minus p plus r equals to 6. So from here you can just write 5 minus p, so 5 minus 6, which is minus 1. So minus 1 is equals to p minus r. Minus 1 is equals to p minus r. Okay, minus 1 is equals to p minus r. Okay, now if you try to see here, so for what values of r this gets satisfied, for what values of r this equation gets satisfied. So r, when you take for different values, you can just justify different values for p, q and r. Okay, so when r equals to, for example, when you can take r equals to 0, that time the p value will be equals to how much? Minus 1. Okay, when r equals to 0, the p value will be equals to minus 1. So when r equals to 0, the p value will be minus 1. When p value will be minus 1, the q value will be equals to, so 0 minus 1, the q value will be 5. Okay, so you can take the first one like that. Okay, but this is not possible because p plus q plus r, this p should be positive. Okay, I hope my calculation is clear. P minus r, so when you take r equals to 0, you will be getting some different. The same thing you try with r is equals to 1 and r is equals to 2 and r is equals to 3, the same thing goes on. Okay, now you see the next one, the middle term of an expansion of 4x cube minus 15 by 4x to the power 8 is, ikkada enti, what is the power we have? We have power to be 8, which is an even term, but we want the middle term. ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ when n is even, how many middle terms we have? We have only one middle term, that is ncn by 2. ncn by 2. So what do we have this? What is the middle term here? So that will become the 8. So t n by 2 plus 1. So that will become 8c4 into 4x cube power 4 into minus 15 by 4x to the power again 4. Okay, so this is directly coming from the expansion of, again write down the formula, meeku rastran malli, t r power r plus 1 is equals to ncr x to the power n minus r into a to the power r. So from here, please note down this formula. Again I am writing down this formula. Whenever we have n is even, again I am star marking this formula. Whenever we have n is even, so we have only one middle term. You have only one middle term. What is the middle term? The middle term is given by t n by 2 plus 1. Okay, whenever you have n is odd, then you have t n plus 1 by 2, that is one middle term, and t n plus 3 by 2, that is the another term. right? So there are 2 middle terms. So please highlight this formulas, 2 formulas. These are the things. Okay, a smaller version. Meeku already deentlo kuda you can see in the PDF. You can go back and look back to the PDF. Malli aa PDF lo kuda you have a clear cut expansion. You can see this formula which we have discussed 2-3 times. As of now we have this form. So this will be 8C4. So this will become 8. So we'll just write it as 8C4 only. So this will become 4 to the power 4 into minus 15 by 4 to the power 4 into x to the power 12 by x to the power 4. The answer will be x to the power 8. So 4 to the power 4 ikkada e4 gets cancelled. So this will become minus 15 to the power 4. 8C4, 8 factorial by 4 factorial into 2 factorial. That will be 8 into 5 into 6 into 8 into 7 into 5 into 6. So that will become 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 by, you have again it is 4 factorial, so that will be 24. So 8 3s are 24, 3 2s are 6, 7 5s are 35, 35 into 2 70, 70 into you have minus 15 to the power 4. So 15 to the power 4. So you should calculate this value. So minus 15 to the power 4 into x to the power 4. కానీ ఇక్కడ ఆన్సర్స్ చూస్తే మీకు ఎలా ఉన్నాయి 15x square ఇలా ఉంది. సో నేను ఇక్కడ ఇది ఎలా రాయొచ్చు 15 to the power 4 x power 8 ని x square whole to the power 4 రాయొచ్చు కదా. So there is no it is not a sin to write. Okay, so now I will write 15 to the power 4 into x square to the power 4. I can write it as 15x square whole to the power 4. So finally I got the answer successfully to be 70 into 15x to the power 4. So here we finally this answer, this is nothing but this whole value is nothing but the 70. So if you calculate 7 into 5 35, 35 into 2 70. So 70 into 15x square whole to the power 4. Okay, here comes the last question. Numerically, the greatest term of the expansion of the term 5 plus 3x whole to the power 6 when x equals to 1. Okay, if you try to see this expansion, మీరు చూస్తే ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఇక్కడ ఇది పాజిటివ్ టర్మ్, ఇది కూడా పాజిటివ్ టర్మ్, రైట్? సో he's asking about the greatest term. Here you can use the formula, but otherwise you can also use something like a trick. Okay, this is something like, you know, if you try to just visualize in terms of curve, అంటే నాకు ఎలా అనిపిస్తుంది అంటే it is something like this. Okay, ఈ curve ఏం రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తుంది అంటే if I take the number of terms, okay, the terms right from the starting, okay, there would be a term in the middle where it just touches the peak and again it just goes down. Okay, now you see here the numerically greatest term. So let the highest term be r. So tr plus 1 by tr. So this value should be greater than or equal to 1. Okay, so what would be the highest r which satisfies this inequality? You are getting, for example, mana terms ila unnai. I'm just giving you a rough sketch. 2 3 4 5 తర్వాత మళ్ళీ ఏమైపోయింది, మళ్ళీ ఇంకొకటి ఏదో లైక్ ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ మళ్ళీ 2 7 3 సంథింగ్ ఇలా ఒక ప్యాటర్న్ ఉంది. ఇక్కడ చూడండి నెంబర్స్ ఆర్ జస్ట్ ఇంక్లైనింగ్ అండ్ దెన్ అగైన్ డిక్లైనింగ్, రైట్? సో what is the highest term that this inequality gets satisfied is this. దీనికంటే ముందున్న టర్మ్స్ అన్నీ కూడా సాటిస్ఫై అవుతాయి, కానీ వాట్ ఈస్ ది హైయెస్ట్ వన్ విచ్ సాటిస్ఫైస్ దిస్? సో ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ దట్ పీక్ ఆఫ్ ద కర్వ్, right? So tr plus 1 by tr, so which should be greater than 1. So according to the expansion it will be 6cr into 5 to the power r into 5 to the power 5 minus r. Okay, just let me just erase this, might be confusing. Okay, so this is nothing but 6cr into 5 to the power 6 minus r into 3x power r by again 6cr minus 1 into 5 to the power 6 minus r minus 1. So that will be 7 minus r. You know, this will become 6 minus r minus 1. So this will become 6 minus r plus 1. So this will become 7 minus r. Okay, 7 minus r to the power 3x. So that will become 3x to the power r minus 1. 3x power r minus 1. So finally we have this expansion. Now this should be greater than r. This should be greater than 1. Okay, now let's try to expand this. 6 factorial by 6 minus r factorial, 6 factorial by 6 minus r minus 1 factorial into r minus 1 factorial. So let's try to see this expansion. 6cr by 6cr minus 1. So ఇది ఎలా ఉంటుంది 6, so cancel 6 factorial gets cancelled. So this will become r minus 1 factorial పైకి వెళ్ళిపోతుంది. మళ్ళీ this will be 6 minus r minus 1, so that will become 7 minus r factorial by 6 minus r factorial into r factorial. So if you try to cancel it out, this can be written as r factorial can be written as r into r minus 1 factorial. So I can cancel that. So r factorial I can write it as r into r minus 1 factorial, cancel. So 7 minus r factorial, 6 minus r factorial. 7 minus r factorial I can write it as 7 minus r factorial into 6 minus r factorial, right? So this I can write it as 6 minus r factorial. Idantha continuous ga manam ive problems chestunnam kabatti I am trying to do it directly. So here we have 7 minus r by r. Finally we have this 7 minus r by r. Now let's try to see the remaining garbage whatever we have. 5 power 6 minus r by 5 power 7 minus r, 3 to the power r, 3 to the power r minus 1. We have x to the power r by x to the power r minus 1. So ikkada you need to see one more thing. Yeah, first let's try to solve this inequality. 5 power 6 minus r, 5 power 6, 5 power 7 minus r. So this can be written as 5 power 6 minus r minus 7 plus r. Okay, so that can be a power m by a power n, a power m minus n. Ikkada chudandi 5 power 6 minus r, 5 power 7 minus r. Now 3 power r by 3 power r minus 1. So this can be written as 3 power r minus r plus 1. So that will become 3 power 1. So ikkada inkoka value enti 3 power 1. And the next one is you have x to the power r, same you will be getting x. You will getting the value of x. But this x doesn't matter because he is asking at x equals to 1. Okay. So this whole inequality it should be greater than or equal to 1. So now if you see 6 minus 7, that will be minus 1. And minus r plus r gets cancelled, so this will become 5 to the power minus 1. So that will be whole thing by 5 into 3 into x should be greater than or equal to 1. Okay, now I hope you have the whole calculation here. 3 by 5, it should be greater than or equal to 1. Now you have 7 into 3, 21. Okay, so this the whole thing 21 minus 3r, 21 minus 3r is greater than or equals to 5r. Right, is they greater than or equal to 5r. Sorry. This is greater than or equal to. So 21 is greater than or equal to 8r. So from here you can say r is less than or equal to 21 by 8, which is equals to 2 point something or something. Okay, this will be something 2 point something. Okay, r value I will be getting 2.56 or something. But here we are, r is nothing but an integral value. Finally the conclusion is, the final conclusion is from here, the r value is nothing but 2. The r value is nothing but 2. So from here what we have assumed our highest term is what? Tr plus 1, where r is equals to 2. ఇప్పుడు డైరెక్ట్ గా ఎక్స్పాండ్ చేయండి, 6c2 ఎక్స్పాండ్ చేయండి. ఇప్పుడు ఏమైపోతుంది 6c2 into 5 power 6 minus 2, that will be 5 power 4 into 3x power, you have 3x power, so x is anyways 1, so 3 power 6 minus 2, again it is this is 2. Okay, so this you have 3 square. So what is 6c2? This can be written as 6 factorial by 6 minus 2 factorial into 2 factorial. That will be 6 factorial by 4 factorial. So 6 into 5 30, 30 by 2 15. So 15 into 5 to the power 4 into 3 square. So just try to calculate those value and you will be getting the answer 6c2. So that will be 15 into 5 power 4 into you have 3 square. So 15 can be written as 5 into 3, that will be 5 into 3 into 5 to the power 4 into 3 square. So you have 5 to the power 4 into 5 to the power 1, which will be 5 to the power 5 into 3 cube. So wherever you see 5 to the power 5 into 3 cube, that is your answer. The answer is option B. We are done with the question. Okay, so here comes the end of the session. Oka chinna vishayam entante, in the whole topic of binomial theorem is not just confined to just solving or completing the problems of binomial theorem, but these techniques are also used in the other parts of the problem. Ante wherever there is an incorporation of expansion, okay, akkada we'll be using the binomial theorem. And it is not just stopped here. I mean, malli engineering kellin tarvata kuda again you'll be confronting binomial expansion, right? Even in your master level also again you'll be seeing this binomial theorem, and rigorously you will be using, and still a greater amount of research is there in the binomial theorem, right? And yeah, it has a wide application. That is what most important. Eppudaina gaani when we want to expand any part of a binomial expansion, this formula is very useful. And yeah, so and we'll also be using this thing even in the integration also. Akkada kuda if we have to do some sort of an integration of integral x plus a whole to the power 5, appudu again we'll be using some sort of a binomial expansion wherever the necessity is, using some partial fractions and everything. So here comes the end of the session. Please, 2-3 things are there. The first thing is, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. The second thing is, see, almost like నేను స్టార్ట్ చేసి ఒక 10-15 రోజులు అయిపోతుంది. యాప్ ఇస్ అవర్ ప్రైమరీ సోర్స్. ఓకే, యాప్లో నేను చెప్పింది ఒక డెసిమల్ మట్టుకే. In the app there is an abundance of information, and there are like tons of people around who are working in the app, right, for the app. So వాళ్ళని నాలానే నాకంటే ఇంకా పెద్దవాళ్ళని you will see there, and they are there to especially నాకు తెలిసినంత వరకు ఒక 12th grade చెప్పడం చాలా వరకు ఇట్స్ ఈజీ ఐ ఫీల్. కానీ సెకండ్ గ్రేడ్ చెప్పడం నాకు తెలిసి ఇట్ ఈస్ వెరీ హార్డ్ టు కన్విన్స్ దెమ్ to what is exactly the reality. So even for the second grade also there are people from IIT and NIT who are there. So you can understand from first grade to 10th grade, please do share with your siblings that this app would be a great guide to them and for their future. And also please like, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll be again coming back tomorrow at 11:30. And thank you so much, and yeah, thank you.